Welcome back, everybody, to Two Dudes Talking Motorcycles. My name is Gleb.
And my name is Mitch. You can follow me on Instagram at Meets to the Beach.
And you can follow me on Instagram at Gleb Lapham. And today we have a third dude with us who you probably remember from a couple of episodes that we had him on, and it's our friend Emerson.
Yep. How's
back.
it going?
Do you want to share your socials? Or not?
Yeah, socials traveling.gaijin on Instagram.
Perfect.
Perfect.
And we have Emerson as a guest today because he recently did the Idaho BDR, and I joined him on about like halfway through.
Yeah.
And then left.
Yeah.
3/4 of the way through. For reasons that we'll go over later.
It's like when I did the last episode alone, it's like, oh yeah, Gleb and Emerson, they're on a BDR trip. And now we're coming back. It's like, Emerson was on a BDR trip. Gleb showed up.
I
He was there for a lot of it.
I showed up. I was there for 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dirt.
So just to give you guys some context, so Emerson went on the Idaho BDR trip. You didn't do the whole thing, right?
No, so I basically picked it up in about halfway through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I joined him halfway through that, basically. So you did it for 6 days.
Yeah, it was
correct?
6 days, 5 nights.
6 days, 5 nights. And I joined you on day 3.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Sounds
Yep.
right.
So I joined up with Emerson in like close to Riggins, Idaho, and we camped out there and then hit the BDR the next morning. And but you've been already on the trail.
Yeah, for 2 days.
For
at
2
that
days
point.
before that.
Yeah,
And
3 days.
you remind me, like, run us through like the route that you took.
So I basically picked it up at a point where it drops into Montana for a little bit. It comes into Montana and through the Bitterroot Valley, and then it cuts back into Idaho. And so the Idaho BDR is like 1,200 miles total.
Yeah.
Just to do the dirt.
It's the longest one, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. And because that's like California, they split up into 2.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah.
and just to get, if you do start to finish plus your commute, like you're looking at over 2,000 miles, and
Yeah.
I
that's
didn't
a
have the
lot.
time to do 2,000 miles.
Yeah. That is a long time.
Yeah.
Or a lot of miles. So you started off in Montana.
Yeah, so I started off in Darby, Montana, and then
Okay.
I ran it north to south.
Okay.
A lot of people, and it's like the BDR guys themselves, they set it up to run south to north, and you end in
yeah.
Canada. And so you
I
can
feel
run
like
them either way, though.
Most of the BDRs are set up south to north, right?
That's kind of what it seems like. But then
That's
some
the
of
way
them, like on the West Coast, you can link up now.
Oh, between the two of them?
The SoCal, the NorCal,
And the-
Oregon, and Washington.
So it's like one long
Yeah.
BDR. That would be insane.
That would be awesome.
That'd be gnarly. Yeah. I watched that video from BDR, like of the Washington one. Rough. Looks a little rough.
I feel like the northeast ones, or like the New England one,
It'd
and
be
the
so
south
muddy. I feel
Yeah,
like.
that's
And
what it is.
overgrown
are
and-
even worse
yeah,
than, like,
yeah.
than
No
anything you've
thanks.
seen on the
No
like,
mud,
in the
no
west.
overgrown bushes and trees and
or
stuff.
giant
Yeah.
rocks.
No, watching that one, just
Yeah.
like how wet and just lush like the wilderness
I'm
is.
good.
Yeah.
It's pretty, but I'll take pine trees over big old maples
Easier
and
to
stuff
get
like
to
that.
over
Yeah,
here, too.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, and then so we'll talk about kind of like the trip here in a minute. Tell us a little bit about why you wanted to do the BDR, the Idaho BDR, and then how you like prepared for it.
So the Idaho one, I've always wanted to go into Idaho because I've been in Salt Lake now since like 2018.
Yeah.
And I just have never really played around in Idaho.
Yeah.
And when you guys convinced me to get an adventure bike, the Idaho BDR made a lot of sense. It let me get into Idaho, which is absolutely gorgeous, by the way.
Yeah.
And so Idaho was beautiful, and that's kind of the closest BDR that's not insanely hard, because parts of the Utah one
Oh yeah. It's
I
like,
don't want to mess with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Especially
right
those
now.
parts down south.
Yeah,
look
Southern Utah, I'm gonna pass on that for now.
Yeah.
pretty ridiculous.
Too much sand, and then way too many like rock gardens to ride
Yep.
through. And
I watched the Utah one too.
Yeah.
Actually, while you guys were away, and yeah, just like they're like in the southern Utah, there's like a section that's just like this is strictly for advanced riders.
yeah, I think it's like Pritchett Canyon or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
It's like I wouldn't take my 4x4 through there probably.
Wow.
And
It's nasty.
What I do like is like some of the BDRs, like their maps that you can get. They do have like some bypass routes. So if there's a super hard section, they have
Yep.
like, oh, here you can take this easier paved road or easier dirt road to get.
Yeah,
past
which
it.
I mean, we kind of did that on our own too.
That's true.
Later on when we talk about it, but
Yeah.
a lot of like the really really hard stuff. There's always they've always routed some way around
Yeah.
it,
Okay.
Yeah.
so it's usually not that bad.
And then So you decided to do the BDR because you got the adventure bike when you got to Idaho, and then how did you kind of like prepare for it?
So like the planning stage, I wanted to do the BDR last year, but wildfires were nasty up in Idaho, so it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
We were trying to find windows, and it just never.
Well, that was like right after we got back from California, wasn't it?
Because I basically got bit by that bug. It's like, let's keep going off road.
We're like,
and so like I'm doing Idaho this year.
Well, we're just sitting around talking at the end of the rides, and you're already like, what's Idaho like?
Yeah, exactly. And so like last year, so I've been planning it for over a year at this point.
Yeah.
And like it's planned, but like the route's laid out. But figuring out your gas stops and figuring out what's going to work for you and your machine is for you, you know?
Yeah.
So,
because each one's going to be different.
Yeah. And so they have recommended stops, and all the BDRs are split up into sections. And it's like usually takes a day or two to finish the section. But you might not want to stop and start where they have that section. So, so like I didn't most of the time. So it was just every once in a while I'd get bored at work or something and waste time at work, and I would just plan out. I had, I'm going to do this many miles this day. This is my start and stop point.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Mm-hmm. And what kind of like challenges were you anticipating to see on the trail?
Just getting in over my head, you know, because I've only been riding off road for a little, like a year and a half. This is only my second season.
Yeah.
So just getting in over my head or pushing it too hard and then getting injured.
Yeah.
And then there were sections I started off by myself.
Yeah.
Turns out I finished it by myself, sort of.
Yep.
And so like getting injured out there and being by yourself, there's traffic on these roads, but you never know.
You never know.
There were times where I wouldn't run anybody all day. So.
Yeah. And it was pretty remote. There was no service.
Yeah, no service. And every town we thought that was going to get service,
did not have service.
No, not at all.
And then, especially like out in the wilderness, there's zero service, zero connections and stuff. The only service we had was at like the random bars we stopped along the way that had Wi-Fi, and that was about it. And then kind of like what were you most excited for, and what were you most nervous about like starting this?
I was definitely most excited about just getting back out on the bike and camping for extended amount of time.
Yeah,
because like when we did the California one, we did we'd camp a night, and then we'd be in an Airbnb, and then we'd camp a night, and then he'd be in Reno gambling our money away. And so this time it was start to finish for me, 6 days, 5 nights camping the entire time. Very cool. I haven't camped much this year. Yeah. So like that was exciting to get back out.
Scratch that camping itch.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And like that's challenging, but that's also like part of why you want to do it too. You know?
Yeah. And it was really fun to kind of like for the couple of days that I was riding with you to kind of get to like a campsite and stuff, set up camp. Yeah. Like we didn't have a fire, unfortunately, because that's really firewood available.
Something I'm going to do next time.
Yeah. But just kind of being out there in the wilderness, it just felt nice. The air was fresh. The night sky was awesome. Amazing. It was so beautiful because you're pretty much far away from everything, just tucked in the mountains and stuff. And I think it's really cool that they have this like network of trails, especially ones like the BDR that are mapped out specifically to follow. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. And then what's kind of like what were like the biggest things you were nervous about before starting?
Being on a KTM, I was nervous about the KTM breaking down. But other than that, it was just getting hurt or something like that, or having some sort of mechanical issue that I didn't prep for, as far as like bringing a part for it, which I didn't really bring any parts. So.
Yeah. Or you have like a catastrophic failure or something.
Or just something, like, I bent my wheel and I'm a tubeless, so I can't just patch it. Right. It's not going to work. So that was just mostly just mechanical stuff. I wasn't super worried about too much else other than that.
Because you've been like camping a lot. You backcountry ski.
Yeah, I do backcountry.
So
so I'm like outdoorsy is right up my alley, but
but the mechanical stuff is a little harder to take care of in the field.
Especially on a bike that doesn't have the most solid reputation as far as being a good solid runner. So
but it did great.
Did good. Other than those weird that cold start.
Oh yeah.
For whatever reason, when it cold starts and it's cold outside, then it starts on one cylinder.
Oh yeah, that happened in California too. Yeah,
exactly.
Oh, did it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I
it happened that morning.
Yeah.
That we were
heading out
yeah.
up from Riggins too.
Yeah, I do remember that. I don't know what happened in California as well, though. That's funny.
I don't know why. And like every time, if you like blip the throttle, it'll die or it'll start the second cylinder and be good to go.
It's a crapshoot. It's either dies or or it works.
And then you just restart it, and it's usually fine after that. But yeah, it's a really weird.
Just KTM things.
KTM thing, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with my bike, when it's cold, it doesn't have any trouble like with the cylinders, but like if it's cold, it takes me a few like pushes of the button to get it to start.
Yeah, see,
so
every bike's got its own little quirks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just KTM has more than most.
More internal.
So far, you haven't had any issues.
No,
with
I
the
haven't any
bike.
problems, and I just did an oil change. We can talk about like prep is what I did as far as the bike too. But like I just did an oil change, and then when we got back, because I've been sending my oil off to get analyzed because I'm worried about the cams eating themselves, and so it came back with another super awesome
Clean
numbers
test.
and clean
Awesome.
tests. Yeah.
And so, other than the oil change, what else did you do to prepare both yourself and like the bike?
Myself, I stopped eating as much. Oddly enough, because I knew I wasn't gonna be able to eat, like I wasn't gonna have that much food with me.
Yeah.
Which doesn't seem like it'd be a big deal, but when you're like
you're burning
exerting
calories,
yourself
Yeah.
and standing for a majority of the day on a bike, it's a lot of calories.
Yeah.
And not having a ton of space, wasn't bringing a bunch of food.
Right.
So for myself, that was just mostly that, and then I slowly, because I drink a ton of water normally,
Yeah.
I didn't drink as much water to kind of prep myself for not only having a gallon on the bike. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And then for the bike itself, oil change. I clean the air filter because I've got that cleanable
Oh yeah.
oiled air filter. Chain adjustment. Topped off coolant. Just looked at fluids in general. And then the big thing is I knew it was going to be a ton of dirt. It's rattly. I went and checked everything that I've put on the bike, especially. I went and retorqued everything
just
on the
make sure
bike.
it's
Smart idea.
So it doesn't fall apart on me on the road.
Yeah. Don't lose your license plate either.
Yeah. But other than that, I've done more parts since the last time we did our trip, and so like those I would consider BDR prep, like the bigger foot pegs, which we all have now, which make a huge difference.
Major difference already.
difference.
Massive difference. What else have I done? Did the skid plate this year, which is lighter and way less noisier, which is kind of nice because it's that plastic
Yeah.
Oh,
stuff.
okay. Yeah.
What else did I get this year?
You put on that high fender too, didn't you? Or
I
is that
did a
last
high
year?
fender, but that's more an aesthetic thing.
It does look cool.
It looks sweet on there.
It does look really cool.
I can't remember what else I did this year. I already had the mirrors. I think that was really about it. I didn't do
You already
much.
had the bags.
I already
all
had
that.
bags, so
Yeah.
I didn't need any of that. I got a muffler since the last time we
Got
were.
a new windscreen before you left.
Because I kicked the other one.
Yep.
Kicked and broke the other one earlier this season. But yeah, other than that, the bike was. Luckily, the KTM's kind of set from the factory. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I got bark busters, which made.
Oh, that's right.
They're so much more solid than the stock ones. It's not.
They
even
saved my
funny.
bike.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
dropped my bike on this trip. Stupid, and I shouldn't have, but
I dropped mine.
totally fine.
I understand why I dropped it.
Mine is just stupid mistakes after riding for however long. You know?
Yeah.
How would you compare your preparedness, like you talked about, and like the overall journey between like the California BDR and then this one? Like, did you learn anything that like it's like, oh, this is like what I should have done differently in California, or like
I
what
feel
was-
like we camped so little on the California one.
Yeah.
Obviously, my tires were way better than last time
Yeah.
because I had to get a new rear tire like halfway through our trip on the California one.
Yeah.
So I was a bit more prepared there, but that's hard to plan tires because it's like, well, how much am I going to ride in a season? Do I want to? Does it have enough for me to make it through this trip, or do I need to change the tire out now?
Yeah.
And like by the time we made it back, my tires, it's ready to get changed. Yeah.
Wow.
It's really close.
Yep.
Which I got pretty good mileage out of that Tuss tire. It's
Really?
got 7,300 miles on it now.
That's only what, like $140?
Yeah.
That's-
It was 110 when I bought it originally. Now they're 150. So
Still, that's not a bad.
it's still not bad.
For an off-road tire,
Yeah.
that's
I think
not
it's
a bad
because the bike's
price.
pretty light.
Yeah.
But like with as much as I like to light the rear tire up on dirt, I thought it would have wore out way faster, but it's doing pretty good.
Pretty good.
Good. Nice.
Nice. You didn't have any issues with like the handling of the bike? No.
Another thing we did we kind of joint bought that slacker tool this year.
Yeah.
So we can really dial in our rear preload, which is makes a huge difference when you're loading up the bike, as long as the bike's not undersprung for your weight.
Yeah.
So like for me, the bike's oversprung for my weight. So normal, no luggage or anything, I don't weigh enough to get into that happy zone for the suspension.
Oh.
But loaded up, we can now measure that preload and get it in the right spot, which is like 30%, I think is what it is.
Okay.
And so like being able to dial that in exactly was awesome.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Bike handled great for it.
I'm pretty sure my bike is undersprung for my weight.
Oh, for sure.
My just weight without any luggage and then add luggage to it, like I can't.
You're maxed out.
Max preload, like it's still not within that happy zone.
Really? Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm just
loaded
fat.
up with you on it. It wants 30% of your suspension travel.
Just you or with your gear?
With your gear.
Oh.
Well, all the time. You want that happy 30%.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And so, like, if it's just me on the bike, I never hit that 30%.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
But then when you got all that weight, you can then mess with your preload. It's like putting a passenger on.
Yeah.
So, like, if you want to ride with a passenger more consistently and you wanted the bike to handle the way it's supposed to, you would weigh the bike with you and your passenger and then set your preload, not just like crank it up and hope that's good.
Okay.
You know?
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then for you specifically, did you end up buying any like new gear or for the ride?
I did. I did a big purchase this year, and I switched to all separate armor. So I'm running. Moscow just released a bunch of their separate armor stuff. So I'm running their knee pads, elbow pads, and their tighty whities that have armor in the hips. And then I switched to Moscow pant, and I'm running a jersey, and it's such an awesome setup.
Yeah. And then what's
Breathes
your
so much
chest
better.
armor?
The chest armor
Climb?
I'm using Climb's Tactical Pro, I think is what it's called.
Okay.
I run the short sleeve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that way it's just even more
Well, after
modular.
seeing yours, I think I'm gonna probably do the same thing.
It's
like-
separate armor for dirt is the only way
I
to go.
especially want to do it for the legs because I'll talk about it here later. But like when I draw my bike, like my knee ended up hitting the ground because the pant armor on my leg was like slightly out of place.
Shifted.
It shifted, and so it didn't actually like do
Yeah,
its job
it's-
protecting my knee.
So all the separate body armor comes with like compression sleeves and then the armor. So wherever you set it, it's not going to move.
yeah, which I think is going to be way nicer than
Oh yeah, I
having
love
to
it.
shift around.
I love it, and surprisingly, for being Moscow stuff, it's not that.
It's not too
I
bad.
don't think it's that
Yeah.
bad for Moscow stuff.
So I was doing research on like because I was looking at like the separate armor for your arms and stuff, and Climb makes something similar.
Yeah,
But the Moscow ones, just reading up on them, I think they're actually a little cheaper, like a few.
which
bucks
is crazy
cheaper.
to me. Yeah, because I think the elbows by themselves were under $100.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then the knee, I think, was maybe $100.
It's like 110
Like 100,
for the set, yeah.
And then I think the compression shorts with the hip stuff was like $80 maybe.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah.
remember.
yeah.
But it's
That's
all
not bad at
CE
all.
level 2. It's like good.
Well,
Yeah.
when you consider
armor.
like that's a lot of money, but consider like what people spend on their adventure jackets.
Yeah.
or
But my
adventure pants.
see,
jacket
like-
was like $400.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can run separate armor, and then really, unless other than like sliding on pavement, you can wear a t-shirt over it, and it doesn't really matter.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. So
And I think that's the nice thing, like with off-road, is you're not really expecting to slide much. It's going to be more of the impact, and that's where you need the protection for. Pavement, the slide.
Yeah,
is
it's
where,
a little
it's like different.
Like-
well, it's like different armor for different jobs.
Yep.
You know, so,
yeah, and then like I can pair and tailor to like, well, you know what? I'm comfortable not having my chest armor on today.
Yeah.
I'll just have my sleeves for whatever reason. Like
Yeah.
I rode all the way up to my start of the BDR with just my jersey on. I didn't have any of the armor on. I just put it in my bags.
Yeah.
It's your risk.
It's a
It's a risk.
personal,
It's a risk.
personal
Yeah.
risk on it, and I'm
And you know, as long
comfortable
as
with it.
people understand the risks,
Yeah.
and you know the risks,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
there's
I've been riding just a little bit long enough to know it. I feel like.
yeah.
Yeah. I saw some video earlier this week. It was like some guy just talking about his accident he had riding his big Harley around. He was like, I think I'm going to start wearing gear. That was really scary. And he's riding around, no helmet, no jacket. And
Which
like,
is
what
stupid.
are you doing, guy?
Yeah. There's still like
least have a helmet.
non-negotiables for me.
Yeah.
Like I will not go anywhere with a helmet, even if it's just down the street.
Yep.
I'll wear shorts every once in a while. We kind
Occasionally.
of wore shorts when we were going into Riggins once.
Occasionally, I will.
I wore shorts when we were in California. We went into town. And
like
stuff,
my
so.
daily riding gear now is I don't really wear the armor stuff. I wear Moscow pants because they have a little bit of that slide protection.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then Ryan Fortnine said that I don't need armor, so
Debate settled.
Yeah. So really, you're fine, right?
yeah, that's cool.
They can put that on my entry form to the hospital.
Yeah, exactly.
Fortnite
Fortnite said I was good.
armor.
Fortnite said this was going to be useless. So.
So when you actually did get to Montana, finally got on the BDR, and then throughout the BDR, like what kind of challenges did you end up encountering?
With you there or before?
before me.
Before you, I didn't really. It wasn't super challenging, some of the sections that I was riding, but like there was some steep stuff and just being, I don't know, I ride fast, so
Yeah.
I feel like we talked when we were on there, riding fast is sometimes better because you've got more of a. If I have a big long steep hill coming up.
You want that speed.
You need that speed. And then a lot of times on like the hard stuff, even it smoothens out when you have speed. So I didn't find anything like super challenging as far as like conditions or anything like that. My knee started bothering me. Brought pain pills though, so that kind of helped me get rid of that problem.
Yeah.
And then like I think one of the biggest challenges before we met up is I went to a stopping point. A group of guys on he was on a Touareg and another 890. They're like, oh, this section up here, get ready. It's going to be really rough. There's baby heads everywhere. And so like I'm getting like in my head.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, I'm not ready for this. And I'm out in the middle of nowhere. I had to make sure my Garmin was within reach and stuff like that. And I'm just getting hyped. And then I get to it and it was fine. So like it was a lot of it was like in your head kind of stuff.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I struggled with a lot.
After we split, you did encounter like rain.
Yeah. Unfortunately, after we split, I was in Loman, and I could see rain off to like the northeast.
Yeah.
Because it just pushed through the section I was about to ride, and then it started nothing like crazy downpour, but it was wet.
Yeah, I saw your little clip of it. You're riding out in the rain in your gear.
yeah. So, and I still haven't committed to buying motorcycle rain gear because if it doesn't rain here enough.
Yeah.
So like,
it's like you have some. Like
I got the military issue stuff. I'm just gonna wear that.
Who cares?
Put whatever over it. And that's basically it.
Just look like a spec ops dude out there riding my bike and stuff. Right? And so, that was super challenging, and that was after we had split. But like that, I don't ride in the rain that much. The rear tire was super slippy. The front tire was super slippy and washed out. I turned my traction control back on, which is weird for me to do. I put it in rain mode because it was just all over the place. The throttle was so touchy, and it was just losing traction. Because it was like, it was sand, but it was like, it's like this really thick sand, and then once it got wet, it almost like...
It's almost like clay.
It almost turned into clay.
Slippery.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was nerve-wracking. And on top of that, that was the day we had a bunch of time to make up. So like I'm trying to ride fast through this stuff, and it just wasn't happening.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if speed and mud work.
It doesn't.
No.
It doesn't. Luckily, it only rained on me for maybe 30 minutes, and then like an hour after that, the trail started drying out. So then it turned, and then it turned in like no dust, and it was like hero dirt the rest of the time. It was awesome.
Very nice.
Hell yeah.
So then eventually, actually, tell me just a little bit more about like before we met up. So between like the Montana and then...
Yeah, so the first day I camped at just a normal campground and had pit toilets and water and all that stuff because I wanted to make sure I had a good night, and I was able to like load up on water, take a good poop beforehand before I got out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then I hopped on out of Darby. It goes into the Magruder corridor. It's dirt that connects basically that part of Montana to Idaho, and the first town you roll into is Elk City.
Okay.
It's super cool. It's one of the most remote places in the country. It's like 50 miles plus from any major town.
That's pretty sweet.
It's all
it was
dirt,
awesome. Right? It's all dirt. And so like I took from Montana to there. I camped on the trail while I was there, and split it up into 2 because again, that's just the way the planning for me worked out. And then the second day, you get off the Magruder and you get into Elk City, and then you start pushing through. I can't even remember the town name of it, to be honest. I should have pulled the map up beforehand, but
yeah.
And from there, Elk City, you kind of hop on pavement here and there through these little towns and stuff like that. Towns that have one gas station, if you're lucky, and it's like a tank outside kind of thing. It's a tank outside, and there's a town bar, and so everybody goes and is eating at the town bar.
That's
it's
pretty
awesome.
cool that
it's
exists
super cool.
in 2025 still.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
And it's like, since this is part of the BDR, there's always bikes there too.
Yeah,
so like,
just cool.
I rolled into whatever restaurant it was in Elk City, got gas, and there's 2 other KTMs out there. I walk in and it's a father-daughter doing a KTM trip, and she's on an R, and she's like my height. I'm like, oh god,
cool.
I need an R now.
Now you need an R.
Yeah,
now you
I'm just in my head on it. And they were running it south to north, doing the whole thing. And so everybody, whenever you run into somebody, it's like, oh, you get a little bit of info, like, hey, watch out for this spot, or there was a down tree over here, you're going to have to find a way around it, kind of thing.
Okay.
So it's nice to get little bits of information before you push on to the next spot. But from there, just getting down to Riggins, and that's where we met.
So I rode up from, I left on Thursday. You started on Monday, right?
I started on Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I met up with Emerson on Thursday, and I rode up from Ogden, Utah, all the way up to Riggins, Idaho, which is about an 8-hour ride. So it's not it's not a short distance, definitely not short. And it was hot. It was really hot riding through Idaho.
Yeah, you guys picked a really weird time to go.
I got lucky.
We went to California the same time last year.
Yeah.
It was the exact same week.
No, it was. Yeah, but like it just. The climate, it's still going to be a lot hotter in Idaho than Northern California, I feel like, isn't it?
No, it was about the same.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was cold some nights.
Yeah.
Like my first night in Montana, so I left on a Tuesday, and I was like, I had to put a hoodie on my ride up when I was going through like Tremont and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was hitting all the backside of Idaho, like Salmon and Chalice, Idaho.
Okay.
It hailed on me when I got into Montana that night.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Okay.
It hailed. And then there wasn't frost, but there was a lot of when we were on the beach in California, and there was dew all over the place, like humidity. Yeah. It was just like
and
that.
Did you say on one of the nights it was like a low 40s?
Yeah.
The temperature?
One of the nights, it was 42 degrees.
Yeah, that's chilly.
Yeah. And that's, it was a little cold.
Was the days though, I guess you guys are far up north, it's probably cooled down a little bit.
It was like, I think it's just the altitude was a little bit better.
Yeah.
It helped a lot. And then a lot of the campgrounds are tucked in the mountains. So they just don't
except
get
for
as
Riggins.
Hot. Riggins is some weird,
it's a weird
anomaly.
Bowl.
It's hell in Idaho apparently.
Yeah.
And
it just traps the heat in there. And so even at the campground it was like 85 degrees.
Yeah, we set up our tents and it was still sunny out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we can't go to bed because it's way too hot. So we went into town and got food until it cooled down.
Sat in some air conditioning.
And even like other people we ran into throughout that, they're like, oh, you're in Riggins? I'm like, yeah, it was so hot. I wasn't expecting it. I'm like, yeah, it's just that's Riggins for some reason.
Which is kind of weird.
It's not part of Idaho is what everybody says.
It's also it was weirdly in a different time zone.
Yeah. That section of Idaho,
it was a Pacific time.
For whatever reason, there's a cutout in Idaho that is on Pacific time.
Yep. And between the campground and the Riggins, our clock would move an hour.
Time is
the weirdest
It was
thing.
5 miles, maybe.
Yeah. If that.
It was so weird.
Time is just made up anyway.
Pretty much.
It really is.
So,
I don't know why they can't just
I think that just
scooch that line over a little bit. It's the weirdest thing.
Huh, okay.
But, so I rode up through Idaho, basically following the highways and stuff. But then you suggested that I go up through, like, McCall up there.
And,
which was
Cascade.
And Cascade, which was definitely worth it because McCall is a cool little town right on the lake
that we got to see twice. You got to see twice.
Yeah. And the lake there was beautiful. I remember like thinking like, man, I really want to just stop and take a dip right now, but you're already getting close to the campsite. So.
Yeah.
And we didn't have service, which made it a little bit challenging to like
Yep.
Yeah.
first meet up with one another.
Okay.
Because you had your
I had my
Garmin.
Garmin, so I was able to send him sat messages,
Yeah.
but he couldn't send them back
Yeah, unless I had
because unless
service.
or he wouldn't get them unless he was in service.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I remember like getting to Riggins and then like connecting to the gas station Wi-Fi that they had there. I was trying to get like 2 texts from Emerson like, "Yeah, I'm Riggins, just hanging out at the gas station. Like, I'll probably." And then I see the other text like finally came through and said like, "I'm gonna head to the campground if you want to just meet me there."
Yep.
And
We probably missed each other by like 10 minutes.
10 minutes or
Yeah.
so because I
Yeah.
got it said your message got there like 6:11,
Yeah.
6:10, and I got to the gas station like 6:20, like literally 10 11 minutes or so. But then I rode out to the campsite, set up my tent and everything, and then we rode back into town, like you said, and got some food.
Yep.
And then the next morning we set off on the rest of the BDR, and that was when.
This was another hype place though, because remember I was telling you these switchbacks are going to be super crazy.
Oh, and they were not that
They
bad
were
at all.
easy.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
The ones we did the next day were much tougher.
I liked them.
I did
They
not.
were tougher for
They
sure.
were tougher. I did not
They
like
were
them as
definitely
much.
tougher.
Yeah,
But
I still
yeah,
made
on
it
this-
up though.
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah,
just
absolutely.
slow.
Was that the part where you said a bunch of like buried baby heads? Just
Pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was on the second one.
Yep.
That was the Elk Summit.
Yep.
That was that one.
That one was for me. It was pretty tough.
Yeah.
And it didn't help that it was like a lot of silty spots in between.
Mhm.
That's why I
That
ended up
sounds
dropping my
rough.
bike on one of the turns because
Yeah.
I like, could feel, and I just got like in over my head. Got in my head.
Yeah.
And then stalled the bike.
Yep.
Dropped it.
Yep.
But before that, like we set off from Riggins and we're heading out past like the old bus, like the
Mhm.
rusty bus,
Yeah.
whatever
Mhm.
that.
Just some old
and it's
broken down bus
yeah, I saw
sitting up there.
it keeps making appearances on
Yeah.
people's pages. Yes.
And it is like a switchbacky road, but it wasn't that bad.
No.
They weren't super narrow, and the
Mm-mm.
switchback wasn't like super switchback.
No.
It was like a nice
Yeah.
curve
Plenty of space.
to go
Yeah.
up, plenty
Yeah.
of space, and the road was like fairly packed. I feel
Mhm.
like it wasn't
Okay.
that bad at all. I feel like I didn't have that much trouble navigating that part. And then we get to the top, and it's basically just like smooth, like
The
flat
smoothest
road.
gravel I
and
feel
then
like I've
afterwards,
ever
it
been
turned
on.
into like this just smooth, almost paved
Yeah.
road.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was weird. Super weird.
Yep. And then somewhere along the way up there, I lost my tent poles.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Talk about lessons learned on this one.
A lot of lessons for me.
Yeah. So Gleb, what lesson did you learn on this trip? Speaking
Make
of
sure you
temples.
pack your tent poles better and not be a dumbass.
Yeah.
I basically just have them like tucked into like one of the beaver tails on my Moscow bag. And I had them the same way in California and they held up fine. So I just didn't even like occur to me that they would fly out. But they
Mhm.
did.
Okay.
So lesson learned, I will never pack them that way again. And I'll
Mhm.
make sure to pack them somehow attached permanently to the
Yeah.
to the bike.
Yeah, so it's like luckily we stopped and took those pictures
Yeah.
Yeah.
because we got to our next stop in Warren. We were just
That's when
grabbing
I-
drinks. Like we just grabbed some Dr. Pepper and
Yep.
whatever, pet the dogs. And then we get back out to the bikes.
And I'm like, my temples are
My
gone.
temple, yeah.
So Emerson, being the good friend that he is, rode back because
look
he's
for-
faster.
Because I'm faster, so
Yeah.
I figured, if we're gonna find them, we'll try to find them quick.
Right. Yeah.
So
and
we-
they're in this bright orange yellow bag.
Yeah.
So
Someone
I can't-
had to have picked them
Someone
up.
had to pick them up because I can't imagine them like flying off the road because I
No.
wasn't going I wasn't going as fast as you.
No.
And that road is wide enough that it's like we were like almost in the middle of
Yeah.
it.
Mhm.
They wouldn't slide off that far. So I think
Yeah.
someone
Yeah.
found them, picked them up,
Probably.
did something with them.
So we made it.
maybe that deer found him.
Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe that's how
one.
he found you.
Yeah.
Phantom deer.
So we rode back to the bus, which was probably
You rode back to
40
the bus.
miles.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, we took those pictures here. So I sent out a sat message. I was like, hey, check those pictures. Are the tent poles in the pictures?
And they were.
And they were.
Okay.
And so that means they were somewhere in between the bus and,
And-
Warren.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so he started riding back, and then I rode back up, never found them.
I didn't find them either.
Luckily, we met right there at that pavement spot for the turnoff.
Yeah. So we ended up riding to McCall, which is luckily not too far away. It was
No,
maybe
I think
40
it was-
minutes,
yeah, if
30
that.
minutes or so
Mhm.
to McCall. I bought some cheapo one-person tent at the grocery store, like at
I was
Ridley's
glad you were able
there.
to find one.
Yeah, I was glad I was
Have
able
to
to find one
bivouac.
as well. Yeah. And then rode back to Warren,
Yep.
and then we hit that like switchbacky downhill section,
Mhm.
which I
It
was slow.
very
because-
shelf road.
yeah. And you know how I feel
drop
about going
off.
down hills?
Yeah.
Massive drop off.
For some reason. Yeah. And that drop off is what made me. And normally I'm not like really scared of heights, but for some reason on the bike, it just like, I get so into my head about like seeing that edge coming up in the turn that I'm just like going so slow down the hill. Luckily, that road wasn't like. It wasn't rocky. It wasn't anything.
No,
it was like
it wasn't
smooth.
bad.
It was just narrow.
Yeah.
And fairly steep in a couple of
luckily,
sections.
no one was really on it.
Yeah.
So I felt like we could kind of move faster.
Yeah.
Because we weren't worried about traffic.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
Because it was getting late at that
It
point.
was
So no one else was out but us.
Yeah. It was getting late. It was beautiful.
Oh, it was
that
gorgeous.
road was so beautiful. It kind of led from the
video
top of
I
the
have
mountain.
of it is it's so awesome looking.
I just did not have good luck with. Like the 10th was my fault. Like 100% fully dumbass move on my part. Big lesson learned. But I kept having issues with my GoPro. Like my memory card that I had in it just would not fucking work.
Oh
like,
yeah, you're mentioning
it. Just kept like the GoPro kept saying like this card isn't fast enough to ride to, even though I've used it in the GoPro previously.
Yeah.
So I don't know what was going on there. So I was like kept trying to record because it was beautiful and it just wouldn't work.
Damn.
And next day like forgot to change the battery. Just overall just.
But
I don't know.
us getting set back, it definitely like put a crunch time on. I think I was so locked into like because I had been planning this for a year.
Yeah.
I was locked in. I need to hit this mileage on this day. I'm stopping here. I'm doing all that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Luckily, once I hear connection lost because our we start spreading apart.
Yeah.
I'm like, this isn't so bad. Like our campsite that night still ended up being really awesome. We
it
were
was
right on the river.
Right on the river. You got to do some fly fishing.
I fly fished while we were there.
yeah.
It was awesome.
They had that
Anything?
bridge.
I caught 2 bull trout, which was the first time I ever caught bull trout, so that was kind of cool.
Hell yeah.
That's cool. They had that like bridge there.
Yeah.
It's not a toilet, which was nice.
Yep.
I did start to feel like I remember waking up in the middle of the night and I started to feel nauseous in that tent that I was in.
It was
It's a small
hyperventilating.
small one person tent.
It's like a
And
little
it
pup
did-
tent.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
okay.
had 2 little hoops that like were like this high.
Oh,
off
it
the ground.
is.
That
It's
was
literally
it.
just a bivy
Yeah.
tent.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I remember like it did not have good ventilation. Like the thing wouldn't stay propped up.
Oh.
Like
Ugh.
so I like woke up in the middle of the night and I'm just like I feel like I'm gonna throw up. Like I start feeling like super nauseous. I'm like I feel like I need air.
I'm going to throw up.
I'm gonna throw up. And I was like I need fucking air. So I just like got out. I took the rain cover off, like the
Yeah.
rain fly off, because I'm like this thing does not let any air through.
Yeah.
And then I felt much better. But I remember like sitting outside for like a good 30 minutes of just like trying to calm down, like breathe in the air and stuff. 'cause
Milky
I'm, like,
Way.
Milky Way, just looking air.
Satellites, because
Yeah.
there's so many freaking satellites in the air now.
And I just sat there and then eventually went back to sleep and did fall asleep. But yeah, I felt like super claustrophobic and started feeling super nauseous.
That was
in
another
tent.
night that was kind of cold, I felt like.
It was
too.
a little chillier
Yeah.
that night. I remember having like put on my sweats and my put on like a sweatshirt and stuff.
Yeah.
That tent got very warm because it's tiny.
It's
Yeah,
just your hot
warming
air
up.
just
Yeah.
filtering through
And then
there.
it was like very I could feel the humidity, like the condensation
Yeah.
building up on the inside of it when I woke up in the morning. I feel like my sleeping bag was a little like
A little damp.
damp
yeah.
and stuff. So I was like, all right, well, I'm never getting a bivy tent because this is pure
It's a
hell.
little tight.
It's way too small for me. I need to be able to
That
like,
just drove
sit
the
up.
point in to never lose your tent poles. you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now I have an excuse to buy a new tent,
Mhm.
and it's going to be, and those tent poles are
That tent had a mind of its own. I was like, this is what you
fully
get.
packed up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that did set us back, and then the next day we set off, and that's when we hit the for me, very difficult
Yeah,
switchback.
almost immediately after getting out of the area, super gorgeous coming
Yeah.
up, and we started climbing that ridge, and then it got kind
It
of
like
gross.
started off okay.
Yeah.
It started off. I'm like, okay, this is pretty manageable.
Yeah,
And
because
as
we split. So
Yeah.
so I was fishing. I was like, oh, I'll catch up with you, which I did.
He did pretty quick.
But but yeah, I stayed and fished, and you went off and started by yourself.
Yep.
And then
I rode past like the old cemetery that's
Mhm.
there, and I think shortly after that is where we kind of met up because
Yeah.
I had to stop because my mirror kept coming loose.
Oh.
It like kept like
Yep.
just free balling. So I like I just took that off. I took my whole mirror off and just
Okay.
tucked it into my tank bag, and you already passed me, and then it just kept going up.
Yeah.
But that trail got rougher and rougher. Like the
Mhm.
higher we got, there was like rocks kind of poking out of the ground. There was silty in between.
Ugh.
Luckily, the rocks weren't loose.
Yeah.
They weren't loose rocks. They were just embedded in the ground. So it was
Yeah.
constant like going over the rocks, just kind of like very.
It's a workout. Yeah,
It's a workout. Well, I'm trying to think of a word for it. Very like
It's just real choppy.
choppy.
Yeah.
That's the word. Yeah.
And that's
Just-
where I feel like riding faster smooths some of that stuff out.
Yeah.
That and it's like I feel like when I ride slower, I'm really attentive. Like, oh, I need to fall. My wheels need to track here, and all this good stuff. And
Yeah.
it's like too much time to think about it. And then so like you come into something, and you're maybe a little more wobbly. Whereas like when you're going faster,
Kinda just glide
I just
over it.
kind of just
Yeah.
snake
Yeah.
through everything.
And there was a few like switchbacks, and I feel like the switchbacks were especially silty in a few spots. And it's funny because like after after we got back, I remember like trying to find videos on YouTube of that section because I was trying to show it to my coworkers, and I found one from like I want to say 2021, 2022. It did not look nearly as bad as what we rode. It was way smoother. Like there weren't as many rocks sticking out of the ground.
Especially just a lot of these high traffic trails just get so much traffic, and they just don't. Yeah, they erode.
Yeah.
The dust doesn't land back on the trail. You know, it's out in the trees and stuff like that. So more and more rock gets exposed.
And I remember like I even saw like what I think was the spot where I dropped my bike, and it was like the smooth kind of like go down, and it's kind of a smooth switchback, but when we were there, it felt like it banked like pretty hard onto like the inside of the churn. So I was trying to take it more on the outside because I didn't want to like take a super tight churn.
So side by sides that come ripping through there.
Yeah, and
It pushes all that dirt up that high end.
yep,
It
and
ruined it.
like
Side by sides.
like I tried, so I like started off like on the inside of the churn, and I tried to like maneuver myself over on the outside. And I just didn't get enough momentum, and ended up like killing my bike and just like. And I ended up pretty much like I was standing, and no, it felt fast. Like I didn't even feel like slow motion fall like the first time I dropped back in Utah one time, but it literally felt like I remember feeling myself like lunging off the bike almost. Like I was standing, so I felt like I like lunged off the bike, fell like next to it. Luckily, it wasn't a soft fall. Like it didn't feel like a soft fall. It was a nice like thud, you know. Luckily, the bike did not land on me at all. Like I fully cleared it.
Yeah.
And other than my knee getting like hurt and bruised a little bit, I didn't get hurt at all. My head didn't hit the ground. My elbow, back, and shoulder armor on my jacket did its job.
Yeah.
So like I didn't feel anything other than my knee. And the bike was fine. Those Moscow bags that I have on it like
Saved
the back. And
They're
the
made of titanium apparently because no, titanium's light, so they're made of steel.
They're made of steel. Yeah. And then the bark buster like got a slight little
the ding
scratch on it. It wasn't even a ding. The plastic didn't even break, but it was like just a slight like
It's just a little gouge.
Yeah. And luckily there was like a couple parked there in one of the side by sides, and they helped me lift the bike back up and like line it up facing the hill. And like I've lifted my bike by myself up before, but it was fully like it had the luggage on it.
Once you add luggage or it's not level ground.
It was not level ground, and I fell like towards the downhill, so it would have been like extra hard to like try to walk it back because it's silty soft stuff. So even walking it back would have been like tricky.
You have to consider like the terrain, so it's all silty and slippy. But then like also you guys have been riding for what now? How many days?
That was kind of so that was my fourth day, I think, at that point.
That was my like second.
That was your second day.
Second day off road.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my fourth.
You probably have been using your legs and stuff. And
oh yeah,
like,
my knee was bothering me so much that day.
Yeah,
because it was a little choppy and like it was
going up that hill was like that wore me out. When I finally made it.
When you made it to
summit,
the top, I was up there for a little bit and like you were like.
I was
hard.
Yeah, I was like, I don't fucking want to do that again. I did it.
Can't turn around now.
No,
at the top.
I'd rather keep going.
That's right.
Than do that again. But I did it.
Yep.
If I could do it on my bike, I can do it on any bike that's smaller.
Yeah,
maybe not bigger, but smaller definitely.
Yeah.
So I felt pretty good that I did it. But I did feel bad because I was moving so slow and we were already behind schedule.
Just a little bit
behind where you want it to be. But I did.
We didn't know that part was coming though.
No,
I didn't see anything in my planning. Like, oh, watch this elk summit because it's the hardest part on the route, and it was.
Yeah, it was.
And I didn't
hard.
see anything about it.
Yeah, and if he says it's hard, then it's very
and
hard.
Like, so I dropped mine on the same section, but I dropped mine because I was like too busy looking around, looking at the scenery, and then
the clouds.
and then I got real bad target fixation on the edge of the road, and once I made it to that edge. it just was so soft that it sucked my front tire in, and then I just dropped the bike super easy.
Yeah.
But
you just walked off. Of
yeah,
it.
yeah,
You didn't like
walked
fall.
off and laughed, and then
I saw that. Yeah,
yeah,
you did a little spin around.
Yeah.
A little bit softer fall than
just
mine.
a little. Yeah,
Yeah, you're just like stupid.
But we made it to the top. I made it to the top with one drop and no minimal injuries. So luckily, after that, it was kind of the trail got way smoother, way easier.
Oh, and then we had that hero that was up there when we were up there. There was like just so happened when I got to the top of that, there was like no less than like 7 people up there.
There was a ton of bikers.
They were all
up
just
there.
taking a break.
Yeah.
Before anyone got there, I know what a KTM motor sounds like. I hear a KTM motor. And I watched this guy slide out of a hairpin.
Ooh.
Slide out of a hairpin.
Husky?
It was a Husqvarna, so it was the Norden.
Oh, cool.
And then go vertical. And like wheelie up this hill.
Holy
and then
shit.
stops. He's like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, all right, dude. Sorry. I didn't know I was going to be in your way here.
Yeah. I guess this is your mountain.
Yeah, exactly. And then he's like, cool. Have you seen anybody else? I'm like, no, not yet. He's like, oh, that means I'm winning right now. And then it just starts going again.
Wild. And then I rode past him too. And he probably saw like, damn, this guy's way out of control, man. This fucking guy's crawling up this hill. But once we got to the top, we were like chatting with a few bikers up there. And I remember like asking like, oh, how's the section like going down towards Yellow Pine, you know, because that was the next town we were going to stop at. They're like, oh yeah, it's probably about the same as the one you just like came up on. It was not. It was way easier.
Way easier.
It was smoother. It was like, it wasn't even as silty.
No.
It wasn't like, there wasn't rocks sticking out like for the
up.
most part out of the ground and stuff. It was just like this nice, easy switchback down the hill. And then we got down to like the canyon there, the valley, and it just opened up to this like almost 2-lane wide dirt, great like washboard road.
I'm picking
all
up
the
you
way to
can't
Yellow.
tell how a road is going to be by asking people who've
Absolutely
been, who've
not.
been on it.
So you can stop asking me.
Yeah, I'll shut up now.
It's hard to, because things change. Like,
Well,
you
skill
could come
level
across,
and,
everybody's
you know.
skill level is different, or this section washed out 2 years ago, or this section washed out yesterday. You know?
And it's very different. We definitely I definitely felt that. But then once we got down into that canyon towards Yellow Pine, it just opened up into like a simple gravel road, kind of like the one up at Smith and Morehouse, just easy cruising. You went way ahead of me, and I'm kind of just strolling behind. Behind, but at least I was able to like pick up some speed going that way. And we stopped at Yellow Pine, which I thought was like my favorite part of this
cool
trip
town.
was just like, even though I only stopped at like 2 in like Warren and Yellow Pine, just seeing these like little tiny like towns, quote unquote,
that have less than 100 people.
That's awesome.
Less than 50 that probably
people.
live up there all year round.
Yeah,
you know,
and it's just like a bar, some gas tanks,
and some of the best burgers you've ever had.
What else do you need?
Yeah, exactly.
And we got to Yellow Pine, and it's just like this town just nestled in the middle of the mountain, or like Warren. It's such a cool little town. They had an airstrip.
Yeah,
like
an airstrip.
Oh yeah,
had a dance hall.
That had a dance hall. Yep. And it's just like in the middle of nowhere, and it's kind of cool. It's like people
Did
just
you guys
like
see any bush planes?
no.
I had one fly over me when I was fly fishing.
Oh, cool.
did
I
you?
think I don't know if you left or if you
probably
were still
heard it.
setting your stuff up.
Yeah.
He came like down almost to the
I
bridge.
did see that.
Yeah,
Okay.
and like was flying the river
That's so
and then
cool.
banked out of there. It was super
I did
cool.
see that because I was like, that was very loud. And but it was just cool. Like people like run this bar, this like eatery in this like small little community nestled in the
I
mountains.
think the owner of
somewhere.
that one was a retired Navy captain. So like he was an 06 when he retired.
Okay, yeah.
So he didn't need to work at all. So
No,
why not
why
open a
would
bar
you?
restaurant / only gas in town
You're set
in the
for
middle
life.
of nowhere? Yeah.
So-
And
At
he-
$9 a gallon.
Yep, it was pricey.
Wow.
And then he told me he had a Tiger 1200. And he showed me some pictures of it. He had a Tiger 1200 parked out back in like Vermont or somewhere, and he, like shortly after our trip, he was telling me like he's planning on flying out there and riding it cross country like all the way to Idaho. But it was cool because he said he basically said his bike has it's already packed up, it's in storage, like the luggage is on, the luggage is packed, so he's basically flying there with just like whatever clothes he's wearing.
Wow,
getting to the bike and then
that's awesome.
riding out from there to like across the country. So I was like, that's pretty dope, and I'm sure the 1200 is a pretty nice bike to do that on.
Yeah. Dang.
heavy big bike, and he had the Explorer, so it's like the one with the big gas tank, like the 8-gallon gas tank that weighs
it's a
like
car, basically.
Yeah.
600 pounds, you know, plus the luggage.
Yeah.
So that's got to be a really heavy bike. But you know, I mean, I feel like off road that'd be really challenging to ride. But cruising across the country, I can imagine it's pretty comfortable.
Yeah,
it has a drive shaft too, which is nice. I don't have to worry about the chain.
Yeah, and we rode the 1200, the newer 1200, and everything. It was
the new one.
Yeah. So,
that he had.
Oh, that he had. Okay, yeah. So we've ridden that one on the road. It seems like
it's nice. Yeah,
big perfect bike for like heavy road winds and stuff. You know, you're not going to go too far. Getting blown off the side.
We stopped at Yellow Pine. We did some additional planning because there was 2 routes that we could take to. The next stop we wanted to do was Trinity Lake.
Yeah, that was the goal. We were pretty far behind at that point, though.
Yep.
And so we came up to a pavement section.
Yep.
Near Warm Lake,
which is where we were planning on getting to originally.
That
from
first,
Warren.
night, which we never were gonna make that.
We weren't gonna make
that wasn't gonna happen.
And honestly, I was kind of glad. I'm not glad that I lost my temples and cost us a lot of time, but I'm kind of glad that I got to do the hard section that morning instead of
midway through the day kind of thing.
After already riding.
That would have been
much.
after lunch kind of thing, probably.
And it would have already been getting darker, and like I know I was already like getting tired towards the end of the day.
And luckily we didn't need to blow through Yellow Pine either. We kind of took our time, I felt like, compared to if we were probably pushing that day, because Elk Summit would have slowed us down and would be like, oh shit, we gotta start picking up. We need to hurry up, you know. So.
Yeah. So I'm kind of glad we did that in the morning instead of like afternoon after already riding so much or a decent amount. But yeah, we came to like a spot where basically like paved road went left, or pavement went right, and then dirt road went left. And you were looking at different like alternate trails to get down to Lowman.
Yeah, to hopefully make up some lost time.
Yeah, because one of the trails was kind of like went up and over the mountains again, and the other one's more like a straight shot dirt road.
Turned out it wasn't also, but I thought it was on a map. That was the section I rode was, I think, originally part of the BDR.
Okay.
And then they had that big wildfire last year, and so they made a workaround, and that workaround has now become the standard part of the BDR.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
So there was no road at all, or was it like a paved?
It was gravel. It was still a gravel road, but it was like just a forest road.
Oh.
But since that wildfire was ripping through there, they made a workaround, just taking a different route.
Oh, I see.
And then that route
yeah.
just became the standard of it now.
Okay.
And then that's when we split. So I went back towards Cascade and then went down to Boise, and you continued on.
Yeah, I kept pushing towards Lowman would have been my next stop, basically, for gas.
Yeah, and you did make it to Lowman, right? That night, and then
I made it to Lowman. Lowman was out of gas, so I had to get gas at Haven Hot Spring, which was just 5 miles down the road. And that's when it rained on me, and that's when I was like pushing and pushing and pushing to get to this campsite. And
you did your little water crossing.
Yeah, did the water crossing when it was wet too. So I was like, oh, I'm already wet, so if I fall, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And it was steep getting in that water crossing. And the climb out, like I almost headbutted my windshield because the bike was like,
oh yeah, just coming up to you.
Yeah. But yeah, I was trying to make it to Trinity Hot Springs or Trinity Lakes, which was my original planned stop, but it was just getting too late. And so I was like, oh, I'll just find a campsite along the river somewhere, and just everything's full because this was Saturday at this point.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so everything was full, and I'd pass a spot.
Guy.
Yeah, I'd pass a spot, and there would be people at it. And then, so at this point, it's getting dark. Got the high beam on. I'm a little creeped out. I get up to an empty spot at a hairpin turn, and there's a deer standing there staring at me.
It's the Wendigo.
We're just looking at each other, and then I come up closer to it, I honk my horn. It gets closer to me. So I'm like, nope, this is a skinwalker. It's time to leave. So I walked the bike back out and then just kept going, and then saw a random dude on the side of the road that had a old school 90s camcorder, and that creeped me out. And but yeah, I ended up setting up at like 10:30 that night, setting up camp. Meanwhile,
I am riding So I rode through Cascade and basically back down the route that I came up towards Riggins.
Yeah.
I make it all the way down to Boise, and I'm over here like, okay, maybe I'll get a hotel for the night or just find a
Because at this point,
campsite.
we were going to meet up still.
We were going to try to
That
meet
was
up.
the plan.
Yeah.
Was
So
to still meet
I
up.
was going to take the pavement to Trinity Lake. You were going to hit dirt, and we were going to like finish up the BDR together like the next morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trinity Lake ended up being a lot further than we anticipated, and then B, it started raining, and then C, you were telling me like, you're not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. So
it's-
luckily, you end up texting me like, "Hey, I'm gonna stop
Yeah.
and find somewhere to stay
I mean,
out on the road
you also
somewhere."
because you said you weren't
Yeah.
gonna make it anyways.
No, but
Trinity
it sucks because I woke up the next morning and I was like 5 miles from the turnoff for Trinity
Oh.
Lakes, but I didn't want to push it because just like all the other campsites that I've found,
What if it's full?
it's going to be full.
Yeah.
Because there's only so many spots up there, and I boondocked it. I just stayed at a pullout that was far enough away from the road, up at the crest of this hill, that just had some rinky-dink fire pit at it. I
Yeah.
think four National Forest guys stay there pretty much.
Yeah.
Because it's dispersed. There's no signage. It's just
Yeah.
pull off. You're in the middle of National Forest, so really you can camp wherever you want.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then I'm probably around the same time, right before you got to the campsite. Like, I'm in Boise.
Yep.
I make it down to Boise, and I'm like trying to look for like hotels, and I'm like, God, I don't want to spend that much money on a like one night hotel stay. Everything was like $150 or higher. So I'm like, I really don't want to spend that much. And I started looking at like campsites, and like, well, I have a tent. You know, I can camp. It's warm enough here that I don't even need to like. I might even need to set up a full.
I have
tent.
this little pup tent that
Yeah.
I
Like-
hyperventilate in.
Yeah.
I won't put the rain fly on. If anything, like it's hot enough, I can just probably like just have my cowboy camp basically.
Yeah.
I'm like looking at campsites, but same issue. Like I'm looking at like rec.gov and it's saying like full,
Yep.
first come first serve. I'm like,
Which
first come first serve is
at
gonna be full.
8:30 is not
8:30 on a
happening,
Saturday
you
night.
know?
It's
Yeah.
gonna be full.
All night. Yeah.
Some state like park campsites, I'm like probably gonna be full as well. I'm not gonna risk it. So I'm like trying to look, and I came across. So I started like googling like RV parks and stuff like that. And I saw ones in a town called Horseshoe Bend, and it's like 20 minutes outside north of Boise, in like kind of this canyon road. And I see there's like a spot there called like Old RV Parks. I'm like thinking it's probably just gonna be an RV park their RV. So I like look up to see like their phone number. Maybe I can ask them if I can just like pay and just camp on their lawn or something like that, like in a spot. And like, I don't care. It's gonna be way cheaper than a hotel, and you know if it's just a grassy spot, I can camp.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I called them. It turned out to be like it's not an actual RV park. It was like these collections of like smaller, like old school trailers and a couple of tiny homes and like a pioneer wagon and like a shepherd's tent,
goats.
like goats.
Oh, nice.
And
Yeah.
it turns out it was like owned by this couple, and they rent them out as like Airbnbs. So I called them, and the guy answers. He's like, "Hey, yeah, we got some availability, except I'm out of town with my family right now, but we got a friend looking after the place. Our card machine isn't working, so just Venmo me when you get there." And he's like, "You can stay in one of the tiny homes. I'll give you a deal, and it'd be $50 for the night." And I'm like, "All right, I'll take
Nice.
it. It's cheaper than a hotel and saves you trouble from trying to find a campsite."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I rode over there, and this lady that was like working there at the time, she was like super nice, offered me like oh, if you need anything, just call. And I stayed in this tiny home with air conditioning and a shower. Felt like a
So
king.
probably a little more comfort
Some
than
hospitality.
what I had
a
that
lot
night.
more
Yeah.
comfortable than what
I had
was in
like
there.
And
cause
less
I,
ghosts
yeah,
or-
I was already
yeah.
like spooked. So I'm all by myself. I'm just a boy, and like I hear like barking, and I thought it was coyotes or wolves because on Magruder, I don't know if I showed you the picture of this. I think I
Oh,
showed
yeah,
you.
yeah.
On Magruder.
That's in Montana, right?
Yeah, at the
Okay.
Poet Creek campground. We woke up the next morning. There were wolf tracks
Ooh.
in the campground.
Damn.
Yeah,
And they're massive.
yeah,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
huge.
They're
I'll
like-
show you the picture after this.
What, like
yeah.
that big?
Yeah,
Wow.
they're
No,
big.
yeah, I've seen the wolf prints before,
Yeah.
but I
And,
did not tell me that.
And so I hear like coyotes, what I think is coyotes yipping in the back.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be a dog, but it's a guy like putting in this old 4x4. So that adds to it too. I'm like,
You just feel tense.
I stopped. Yeah, I stopped. I shut the headlight off because I was using the headlight to help like light up the camp.
Yeah.
Shut the headlight off. load up the SIG, and I'm just waiting. And luckily, he just keeps just putting down. But it was his dog that was barking the whole time.
So
I thought it was coyotes.
Like I get that. It's kind of unnerving being like by yourself in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the
A little
night.
bit, yeah. And I was tired and sweaty, and I'd been rained
Like-
on at one point, and I was just defeated.
I've done it before, not like camping and stuff, but like I'll go to like take night pictures and stuff out in like the mountains here in Monte Cristo, and something about like just being by yourself in the middle of nowhere.
I just
in the
felt
middle
like
of the
someone
night, you
was
just like
watching me the whole time.
and you just feel like hyper aware of
Yeah.
every single sound you hear.
I was being a big baby.
That's
pretty much.
That's understandable.
I was just waiting to see eyeballs like
Yeah.
float, like
Oh, just like glowing
Yeah.
in the dark.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then there's meanwhile me just like this RV park, like taking a nice solar
Yeah.
shower.
yeah.
Hot
Here I
water.
am like cursing myself because I forgot my bear spray at the house. I didn't bring it with me, so I just had the gun, which is just a
Not
9
gonna do it-
millimeter. It's
not
not
gonna
going to do
do anything on a
anything
bear.
but make it easier for me to get out of there.
Yeah.
It's
It's just gonna piss. It's just gonna piss him off.
So like
Yeah.
that night, like I didn't cook. I just went straight to bed and as soon as I possibly could.
Sorry I left you, Emerson.
That's okay. That's okay.
But I am happy that I did find like that RV park and just paid $50 for the night. They had a goat on the property that they milk every morning, so they had some fresh goat milk you could buy in the morning. So I bought a jar and just like drank half of it and called it good. It was kind of like one of those like, you know what, this is kind of it's like an experience.
Yep.
It's a memory.
What was that place called? Do you remember?
It's called Ol RV Park.
Okay.
And
Ol, like
Ol.
Like
OL.
Yule. Like Yule.
OL apostrophe.
OL apostrophe RV Park. Like I said, owned by this like older couple. They just rent them out as Airbnbs.
Nice.
They have like tiny homes and
Could be a
trailers
good
and
future
stuff
stop
like-
destination.
I mean, honestly, it was cute. It was a cute little spot. Cheap, $50.
Yeah.
Super nice. Their friend that was running at the time was super nice. It was like an older guy with a beard staying at one of the shepherd's tents, and he like came out like wearing a pajama robe. Like it's like, oh hey, yeah. He's like, oh, this is our friend. He stays there sometimes.
He's just a town drunk.
Yeah. And I'm like, honestly, this is kind of a vibe. I'll take it.
No, that's cool.
I'll take it over trying to find some like
Yeah.
trying to look for campsites or staying at a hotel and paying a lot of money for that.
Well, it is cool too that it's just like you found that by accident and it's like a really good experience.
That's what I
Really,
kind of felt like the whole trip was just finding these little things that everyone else is also finding at the same time, but it doesn't feel that way because it's just small town stuff.
And like from what I've heard about your guys' trip from Idaho is like, and then comparing it to like the California trip, is like the California trip is like everything was modernized. Wherever we went, we had access to.
And I feel like with
modern
California, like everything pretty much went according to plan. Like no one broke down, no one lost anything. We were all moving like relatively similar speed. Well, Mitch and I were. Emerson was not. He was faster. But like, you know, we all stayed kind of like together. We all, everything was planned, paid for ahead of time. This was kind of more like, how far can we get today? Especially with me.
That's gonna be me.
But
I'm slow on the rest.
But it was still like, I still had a great time. Like even though we ended up splitting up, and I was like, it would have been nice to finish the BDR, like finish that last section with you to get to Glen
Yeah,
Ferry,
and that last section, like the next morning, it was pretty smooth. It was just fun trails,
and then
sweet roads, and then
we ended up finally meeting up again in Twin Falls, just outside of Twin Falls, because I left Horseshoe Bend and I was like, oh, you know, I'm gonna go stop by the Shoshone Falls there in Twin Falls real quick, just a little sightseeing. And I think by the time I got there, you were in Glen Ferry.
Yeah, Glen Ferry, and that was the end. It's the false end or start of the BDR for Idaho, because the real start is in Jarbidge, Nevada, and everyone skips that section because it's just like 50 miles of just straight dirt,
Nevada,
boring desert road. So everybody skips it.
So
you see 15 miles of Nevada, you've seen it all.
Exactly.
We finally met up in Twin Falls and then just made it back home. Like
decent time too.
Decent time. I got home
the
like
next
5:30.
day. Nice. The next day was super short, and that's why I think I definitely want to do it again, but I do want to do it south to north.
Yeah.
Because I think riding to Glen Ferry and then getting to Trinity Lakes is a perfect, like, that would only be like a 6-hour day maybe.
Yeah.
Because the dirt from where I was to Glen Ferry only took me maybe 4 hours.
That's not bad at all. Yeah. No, I feel like I would do sections of it again. I would skip the one section. Probably.
Yeah, but
Well,
you're already out there though. You
maybe.
can't skip it. Like
That's
you
true.
can skip it, but
Yeah.
you're there.
Well, you said you had a workaround,
Just get in.
right?
There's
Not for
there's
that section.
That section,
yeah.
I'm sure there's something.
Well, see, I looked at
somewhere.
it later. So after like I lost my temp poles and stuff like after we got to the next campsite, I was thinking about like after I was just outside of Boise after we split. I was like looking. I was like, I could have rode out to. Had you keep going, I could have just rode to McCall by myself.
Yeah,
And then cut to Warm
And then
Lake
we
on
would've
the
met.
paved road,
Yeah.
and we met up at
Yeah.
Warm Lake. I'm like, I should have
That's
just done
true.
that. I
We
didn't think
could've done
about it
that.
at the
But then
time.
on the flip side,
I don't know if I wouldn't have made it though, to Warm Lake
That's true.
because I still would have. I
You
needed
had-
to get gas, so I had to
Yeah.
go to McCall regardless.
Yeah.
And when I was all super mad and everything, I was like, I need to go to McCall to get gas because I just wasted it looking for these tent poles.
Yeah.
I don't care what you do afterwards.
Yeah.
I was so mad.
Yeah, understandably.
yeah.
Um,
Well, like on the flip side of that, you know, like you split off and stuff. You know, if you're on that rough section, you're isolated. What if?
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
you know,
And like,
so-
I bought that Garmin InReach before, but I'd rather not have to do an SOS kind of situation, or I'd rather not have
and
a
the way I
broken
was thinking
wheel
was
or
like before even having you go back for the poles, if I would have checked to see like, oh, I can go to McCall from
Yeah.
here, like have you just go from Warren, not even look
Yeah.
for the poles.
but
And
it's
then
it's
circle
you know,
around. But
we
it's
were
what it is.
yeah.
What it is. Yeah, it's in the
It just
past.
means we get to do it again.
Yeah, and I'll come this
And
time.
bring Mitchell along.
Yeah.
But
And like I
that-
said, my bike is ready to be dropped.
Yeah, you got rack, you got all kinds of stuff on
Yep.
there now.
But
so
that
you're
super
good.
hard section, I don't know if I want to do it again. So I would look for a workaround.
You've done it once already.
That's true.
You know?
I've done it uphill. I have to do it downhill. now.
It'd
which
be
would probably
easier downhill.
Yeah.
If I find myself on the NorCal BDR again, I'm not doing that part I turned around on.
I don't know if I would again.
Those
actually.
baby rocks sucked. That sucked.
But we made,
I think I
me and
might
you
have.
made it up.
I might have gone. I would go through there again. I think what messed me up was when you
I
stopped
got
in that
stuck.
lane. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would do that again because after that it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it was
the problem
awesome
with that,
after that.
The problem with that Northern California section was that it was rough in that one spot, but after that it was fine. This
But then
section,
we
hit pavement after that too for
yeah,
a little
for
bit.
a minute. But then the Idaho section, like even though it was easier than what we did in Northern California, it just went on for much longer.
And we were nowhere near a pavement
no
area.
Yeah.
and
Like,
it went on for
we were
a
out.
few miles, so it
You're
wasn't just
probably
like
more isolated.
We were very
Yeah.
isolated at that point.
and it wasn't just like small sections of rough stuff, like choppy stuff here and there. It was like miles and miles of uphill choppy stuff.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like rough initially, but it just wore
Well,
at least it wore
definitely-
me down.
yeah.
Well, because of
over
isolation, it's
Yeah.
it's gonna be more technical from the
Yeah.
lack of
Yeah, it was.
So
I was
this
zoning,
is-
probably singing Creed while I was riding stuff. Like it was awesome. I
So
loved it.
I think it was just like mainly because like it went on for such a long time, for so many
It
miles.
was much sustained.
Yeah, it like wore me
crappier
out
riding.
Yeah.
more than the rough section we did in California because that was like, oh, I went
Literally
past it and
100
I'm
yards,
good, and I'm
and
good.
that was
After
it.
that, I'm like, oh, this is fine.
Yeah.
But that's the thing with off-road. Like you never know. Like
Yeah.
we could have hit
Until
it
you
much,
do it.
We could have hit a much
And
rougher
then
section in California.
Yeah, and we could go back next year to Idaho, and it
it'll be
could be
different.
completely
It
different.
could be graded and
Yeah.
be like smooth.
Every
Who
winter,
knows?
it just does whatever it wants up there.
Yeah.
And everything's going to settle the way it
and
wants
then
to settle.
and if the state or the feds are gonna come in and take care of a road
Or sell
something,
it, or
sell it,
whatever.
oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do that. So,
So it could be very different.
Yep.
But yeah, I'd probably do it again.
Yeah.
Like
well,
I'd probably get different tires. At least my front tire. Those Dunlop Trail Max Missions. They're a little squirmy and
That front tires, yeah. And I ran into another guy. That was where one of the things I liked most about the trip was just the people that you kind of met on the way.
yeah, the
Because
friends
I
you make
made,
along the way.
yeah. It's not about the journey.
the real treasure.
Yeah, it's so like when I was on the Magruder, the campground that I stayed at was a group of 5 or 6 guys, all from Oregon. But then one of the guys was a Forest Service cop in Vernal.
Oh,
Unfortunate for him to be in Vernal.
yeah, that really
But-
sucks.
But he had those same tires, and he's like the front tire, and it was Harrison or Eurosports. They're like, yeah, this is a really good tire in the dirt, and
Well,
he hated that front
I
tire.
think it's good until you hit
It's
soft
good.
stuff.
yeah,
yeah,
Because my front end, there was
and
a lot
I
of
think
times.
it's like trails. Even here, you're gonna hit soft stuff every once in a
Yeah.
while.
Well, and I think like
The mileage out of those tires is gonna be awesome.
It's great. So I think what I would do next time is like I might get a knobbier front tire because that's the one that's going to wear out less anyways.
Yeah.
But keep the Dunlop
Another
rear
thing
tire.
we
So
had
maybe I'll
talked
get the
about
raids in the
too,
front
I had
and
asked you
emissions.
if you aired down at all.
I did not.
Yeah,
That might
and I
help.
think airing down would make a pretty big difference.
That's one
Yeah.
thing I want to try out too, because I've never aired down yet, and I would like
Yeah.
to try that.
Yeah, I air down like when I started, like when I left Darby, the last part of pavement that I was on for a good amount, I aired down tires and then didn't air them up again until I forgot to air them back up when we met, and I had already done like 20 miles on the highway with like 25 psi in my
You
tires.
said,
So.
you said your tire's a little worn?
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah.
So I think I'll definitely do that next time, and then maybe get like a knobbier front at least for like
Well,
if I'm
and
playing
just-
majority off-roading and stuff.
Yeah.
And then maybe just keep.
But
my-
again, you guys don't ride off road as much as I do,
no, not
which
as much
I
as
don't.
I would like
think-
to.
Yeah, which maybe the tires are what's stopping you from that because
Maybe.
it's a confidence inspiring kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and just because I had bought the Dunlop Trailmax missions, and because they're decent tires. They're way
They're
better than
good
what I
tires.
had.
They are a good tire.
they will they last like
But-
my old tires that are had
Yeah,
in
he
California.
had over
they still
10,000 miles on them. I thought.
12,000 miles.
Yeah, see,
they
that's
still have life.
insane
They
for
They're
still
a
have
amazing
life.
tires, and
Yeah.
they feel a lot better than my crappy Michelins that I had before. Like I like them, but just learning, and I kind of wish I had learned this before, is that it doesn't matter if it's a 60 or a 50. Like you're just gonna need a proper off-road tire.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and it all just depends on like because like you, especially right now, because we're all kind of like really diving in. Like yeah,
We're
we've
green.
off-roaded,
We're very green.
but
Right,
yeah,
so.
we're really just now diving into it, and like a front tire that feels greasy is not confidence
No.
inspiring
It is not.
at all.
They
Because
can
there was
ruin
that
your day.
section
They can scare you.
after that like nice smooth dirt road between like the intersection like where it
Where
was
we
like
split,
paved and
it just got really soft in
well
some of those
not
spots.
necessarily where we split, but coming up to Warren,
Oh yeah,
that was
yeah.
very
Uh-huh.
silty in a lot of sections. There was like one corner where I felt like I almost washed out on because it was just like
Yeah,
like
it's
my
just
front
super
wheel-
soft, especially in the corners because
Yeah.
everything gets pushed, and so
Yeah.
people aren't driving on it as much. So when you drive on it, then it's like oh
yeah,
shit.
my front wheel, like I could feel like the whole time just like squirming back and forth. You just give it a little throttle light in the front end and it helps. But
Yeah.
that like coming up to a turn, I also don't want to give it too much more power. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
so there was a lot of sections I felt like how my front end is all over the place. So
Yeah, it's fun when your back end's like that. It's
But
not fun when the
not
front.
the
is-
front. Not the
No,
back
I-
end is fine.
Yeah.
And I did get more comfortable like trying to whip that back end out in like a lot of corners.
Because I
and
think
stuff.
that's the key to like really
Exposure,
gaining
right?
more. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
exposure, and then it's just testing yourself just a little bit more and more every turn.
yeah.
Because I think that one of the reasons I'm so much faster is I carry more speed into turns and I exit with more speed.
Yeah.
Which helps a lot.
Because I don't like you come crawling into a turn and then you
Slowly
go out and then you slowly roll out of the turn.
Yep.
Whereas like I'm starting to get more comfortable.
And
If I'm messing around, I'm locking my rear tire up coming in and then I unlock it and then I slide on the way out.
nice.
So it's I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, those Michelin tires, like even before we started getting more into off-road stuff, I know I talked to you guys about it before. I just don't feel like I can tell like what's happening with the bike or the tire on those.
Yeah.
It's just no feedback from them.
Yeah.
And so I now that I've been riding more this year, it's just until I took like a little break, but it's like I'm getting back into like that pattern of like okay, I can respond with the bike. I can like feel what's happening.
yeah.
And
I
so
would say those Dunlop missions, still a great tire, and like they still handle like dirt okay-ish
yeah,
until
most-
it's soft.
yeah,
Until
most
it's
dirt.
soft and silty, that's when they start
But
to
hey, we
really
can
like.
try airing
That's
down,
their weakness.
too.
Yeah,
try
you
airing
can try.
down. Try a different front tire. The rear, I'm pretty happy with. Yeah, I like the rear one. That's the one that wears down quicker, anyway.
I like
so.
yeah, like what you said. It is pretty fun. You can get the back end going.
Yeah.
That front end, I can ruin your day, ruin my
so-
day.
Absolutely.
I think I want to like get more comfortable on taking those sharp like corners and stuff like that. So we're coming up on a pretty good lengthy episode
geez,
here.
yeah.
Probably our longest
So
one.
let's kind of like wrap it up. So
Yeah.
like you've done the trip.
Well, you
You've
did.
done-
You too.
Well, me too.
Yeah,
But like
we
you
did the trip.
We did the trip, but you did more of it. Yeah.
Don't downplay yourself. You were there.
That's true. I was there for a couple of days at least. So we did the trip. You did more of it. Kind of like, what's your biggest like takeaway from it?
I think not making sure I'm not stacking my days too much as far as mileage, which it would be interesting to see because I was good up until the point we lost the poles.
Yep.
And then I was kind of good after that as far as like my mileage.
So really,
and
it's just me.
Maybe a little bit, but
you can be honest.
But I need like, and then if we run into issues, like say I had to patch a tire or something like that, and it took forever. Something happened, still would have been set back, you know.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing is to be not so locked into an itinerary.
Yeah.
And just because I passed plenty of camp spots that I could have stayed at had I not been wanting to push to get to where I thought I needed to be that day.
Yeah.
And so like it's just that was probably it's the planning, and then when you're in groups, regardless if everybody's the same speed, you're still gonna get yo-yos. Everything's gonna slow down.
Honestly, our breaks are just gonna be longer.
Yeah.
You know, when we're together. Yeah, like we're gonna get distracted. We're gonna be chatting.
And I feel like that way pretty much with anything. Like I like to travel solo and stuff like that. Like I've been to a couple of countries solo and a few trips, and I always feel like I like to move my own pace. But if I'm traveling with other people, I'm always conscious of like, oh crap, I need to like go a little quicker, go a little slower. Like either waiting for someone, or most of the time people are waiting for me because I am not you're a fast moving person in general. I feel like
I am not stop like one of the times we stopped after Yellow Pine. We only rode like 5 miles, and you're like, "Oh, I need to switch it out my GoPro battery." So we pulled off the side of the road, and this whole time I'm like, "Why didn't you just switch it out when we were stopped?"
I forgot.
And then you take your helmet off to do it. You took your gloves off to do it.
I took my gloves off. I didn't take my helmet
You
off.
took your helmet off.
Not for the GoPro.
I saw you take your earplugs out.
No, I took the thing out. I just slid it off.
But
the
either
earplugs
way,
or something. Anyways, yeah.
Either way, so I'm just chilling, sitting there. And then I think you were about to get back on the bike, and you're like, "Oh, I needed to put a Band-Aid on my blister too."
Yeah, my gloves kept.
God dang it! Like we're trying to make up time.
Yep.
And so like I think part of what led me to that, like yes, we lost 10 poles. I got pretty pissed about that, but I think I started out with those automatic feeders.
Automatic cat feeders. Sorry, everybody.
I should get that for my dogs. How many more times does it go?
One more. Oh, that was it.
I think it didn't help that I started out by myself, and so I was already used to going at my pace for 3 days, and then I met up, and I had to readjust myself.
Very understandable.
You know, and then
I wonder how it would be like. Say we just like blocked out like a couple like X amount of days for.
And that was
trip.
another thing I was gonna like. I think if we would have been more flexible with days off. You know, because like, oh, we got set back, but we have a day extra. Yeah. Not like I need to be home because I have to go to work the next day.
Well,
you know.
Well, I was gonna say
that's mainly on me because I don't have as much time off as you.
Either way, but like if for me, if I was to burn that Monday, I'd have to burn the weekend, and I don't want to do that. So
Well, like so for like a. But I was wondering, like, we block out like X amount of days like that we're all off, and then instead of like a strict itinerary, like there's just like points that where we know like there's gas and food and stuff like that, and then like we just ride for those days,
which is essentially what ended up happening.
It's kind of.
But then that way we're not on the itinerary, and then like say like whether we finish it or we hit a point, it's like okay, we got to find pavement and head back. Because the trip.
On that, I think I since I was pushed back last year because I didn't get to do it because of the wildfires. Yeah. It locked in that itinerary and made it that much more set in stone. Yeah. Whereas if I had just planned this at the beginning, like in the spring, I wouldn't have been so locked in. I feel like on it.
And and I feel like it's like you said, like you're a quick moving person in general. Yeah. Like you do way more stuff than me. It's the way
I grew up. It's like, hey, we're making this gas stop, and everything you need to do at this gas stop better be done because we're not stopping again until we need to stop for gas again.
Yeah. And I'm not like that. Yeah. You're not like that either. I know you.
I mean, I used to be, but like ever since I've just gotten older, I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah. I know I'm not a like most fast moving person. I can be if I like know what I'm doing and like pretty confident and stuff like that. Like I work in media and video, and some of those environments are very snappy. Yeah. But when that's like more of like vacation stuff, I'm the type of person that like like take my time, enjoy the scenery
Yep.
a little bit like that.
And I think before we met up, I even said like, hey, I was taking my time, I was stopping because I usually am like I'm
on schedule.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm usually like super on these certain points at this time, and like I started out this trip. I'll leave at 7 o'clock. Maybe I'll leave at 8 o'clock. Doesn't really matter. I just know my end stop at that day.
Yeah.
And it was mostly pavement, so that helped a lot. But like I stopped in Chalice and had a burger and sat and talked to a bunch of bikers at a bar on my way up because if I got there at a certain time, I got there at a certain time.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is definitely like more challenging in groups.
Group dynamics is definitely
I
think
tough. I think if it was
also
the two of you and then me, I wouldn't feel so bad about like, hey, I'm gonna ride up 3 minutes ahead of you guys.
We'll weigh you down a little bit.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm just saying like because
then we be together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because yes, I'll push to a certain point, right, and then I'll stop and I'll wait.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't do that as much if it was the two of you together, not just Gleb by himself.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. No, for sure. And that's the thing too, is like you go off and you can ride your pace, ride your ride, but we're never that far.
And so like we're on a
from each
trip
other.
together, but maybe
doing our own thing. Kind of.
I still get to a campground an hour before you guys because I like to ride like an asshole. You know.
Well, it's not like
and the whole time I was feeling bad because I was going so slow. And
yeah,
slow.
so then it adds more stress to the situation.
Well, it's not like
honestly,
it's not like we're not all gonna have like be chained together. So it's like
and it's harder to do that on dirt because you don't want to ride in somebody's crap the whole time, you know. So you almost want more space to begin with.
Yeah.
But we did it. You did almost the whole thing, half of it. I took the shortcut to Boise. And
I think it came out to 700 miles, a little over 700 miles of dirt,
and then we had
a 1,200 mile round trip.
Nice, that's awesome.
Then we met up in Twin Falls, and then just rode on home on the freeway, and that's it.
Yeah,
like even though like I lost my tempos and ended up cutting the dirt sections short.
Yeah, I still had
like,
a blast.
Like I had such a good time, and even though I stayed at a little RV park, it was still like my own little
you're still on a vacation.
Side quest vacation.
And you're traveling on the bike.
Yeah. Some random story I could tell people now. Like I've told my coworkers, my boss about it. It's like I just ended up staying in this random town, random place in Idaho that had goat milk in the morning.
Well, even like when we did our Colorado trip, and that ride back was super cold. We've complained about it a few times on the show, but it's just like the same. It's like that was a little miserable, but at the same time, like I wasn't
still
at
had
work.
Fun.
Yeah.
It was still a good time, and they just kind of make the most of it. I guess.
And there's whispers of a short Utah section, maybe.
Yeah, I think we should do a fall trip for sure.
Yeah, be nice and
and
cool.
Yeah,
leaves changing and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So should we wrap up?
Yeah.
It's been a long episode, longest one I think we've ever had.
Yeah, I goofed and I don't know if I told you about this guy, but Doug, he was in Idaho. He was offering to put you guys up. So he was up in Idaho Falls and he was.
I don't think you mentioned that.
No. I think I spaced, and I feel bad about that.
But we didn't. I didn't even hit.
I rode up. No, we didn't go because that's what
Idaho Falls is like western, eastern.
Yeah, southeastern.
So he's south of Idaho Falls, about 2 hours from.
I don't think we even.
That's not even far from here, really.
Yeah. No. So
because I split. So when I rode up, I.
But still a nice offer.
Went
And
west.
he has a 2016 Tiger XCX. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's another thing. I might need a lighter bike after this.
I might get a lighter bike after this.
I kind of want to get a 690.
Okay.
The single cylinder one.
But I think we could probably save that for another episode. But anyways, Emerson, thank you so much for being on the show again and sharing your trip with us. Thanks for inviting me along, even though I'm slow as fuck. But
sorry, I couldn't go.
That's right. Next time.
It was a lot of fun. I still had a great time. It was a good learning experience, and I still made it up that steep section. And feel pretty good. And
and that's the way I feel like every ride is just
as
long as you're just getting a little bit more confidence on stuff. I think it's always worth it.
So it was a good time. Thanks again for being on the show. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you so much for listening.
See ya.
Bye.